Hello, Keyboarding 8 students. Welcome to Lesson 56 about tables, merging and splitting cells. Today we will learn about how to center tables vertically and horizontally, how to select, merge, and split cells in tables, how to add and delete rows and columns in tables, and how to insert a table in a letter. So it says tables are usually centered horizontally on a page. However, they can be aligned at the left or right margins. Tables, like letters and other documents, can be centered vertically on a page. When a table is used in the body of a report or letter, center it between the left and right margins. All right, so we're going to open up Table 1 out of our Keyboarding 8 folder. Let's find it here. Keyboarding 8, data files. Ooh, we gotta go, actually we're gonna go to lesson chapter 7, and we're gonna open up 55D table that we created in lesson 55. So go ahead and open it, and it says, in the steps that follow, you will center the table vertically and horizontally. So it tells us to center the main heading. Okay, and then we're going to change the vertical position of the heading to 1.1 inches. So right now it's at 1.9. So I'm going to hit the backspace key. And I'm going to center it again to take it back to 1.1 inches. So then it says to center the table vertically, use the vertical alignment path to the left to display the layout tab of the page setup dialog box. So we're going to click on the layout tab, and we're going to click on page setup dialog box launcher, which is this little arrow, followed by the layout tab. And then right here where it says page vertical alignment top, we're going to select center from the vertical alignment list in the page section as shown in figure 7-7.5. The table, we're going to click OK, and it says the table should be centered vertically after you click OK, which it did. So now to center the table horizontally, we're going to click in the table, so click inside the table, and then follow the horizontal alignment path to the left to open Table Properties dialog box. So we're going to choose Table Tools Layout tab, and then in the table group we're going to click Properties. And here in Properties we're going to choose Alignment Center. And after you click OK, the table should be centered horizontally between the left and the right margins, which it now is. Very good. So we're going to save the document. So File, Save As. In our Chapter 7 folder, we're going to name it 56A, Table 1. Save. Okay, and it says complete the checkpoint and then close the document. Is your table centered vertically and horizontally? So vertically, we know we can zoom out to kind of get a overall, yes, it's centered vertically. Is it centered horizontally from left to right? Yes. Okay. It says use the preview screen to check the layout. You could do this, or you could go to view or layout. Where is it? Oh, we could go to File, Print, and you could see it there as well. All right. So we're going to go ahead and close this document. Next, it tells us to open 55E table that we created in lesson 55. Okay. Alright, so here's 55E table. It says to center align the main heading and then change the top margin to about 1 inch. Going to make sure, okay. So we need to basically go up here and we're just going to delete this until we're at about the 1 inch margin. Okay, then it says to center the table vertically. So we are going to go to the Layout tab, Page Setup Launcher, Layout tab here, and we're going to click Center. Followed by, it says Center the table horizontally. So we're going to click inside our table, go to Table Tools Layout, choose Properties, and then click Center. Alright, use the preview screen to check the placement. So I just like to zoom out and make sure it looks good. And then it tells us to save as. So I'm going to save in my Chapter 7 folder as 55 or 56A Table 2. Save. Alright. So next it tells us to select, merge, and split cells. So while formatting tables, you can merge, join cells that are next to each other in the same row or the same column. You can use this feature when information in a table needs to span more than one column or row. You can split, divide a cell into 2 or more cells. Merging and splitting cells allows you to create tables that are more useful or creative than those that use a standard grid. When you want to merge or split cells in a table, you must first select the cells. You can always click and drag over cells to select them. However, the table below tells us how to select parts of the table quickly. Alright, so to select an entire table, move the over the table and click the table move handle. So usually the table move handle will be like at the top left hand side of the table. To select a column, to the top, move the insertion point to the top of the column to display the down arrow. Or for a row, move the insertion point to the left area just outside the table to display the open arrow. Alrighty. So next it says that we can use the Show Hide button to display table markers as shown in Figure 7-7. These markers are helpful when moving a table or selecting parts of a table. So here is the move handle, okay, so it can select the entire table quickly. We have end of the row markers. We have end of the cell markers over here. So to do that, you turn on the Show Hide button. So this next step tells us to open up a blank Word document. Okay. And it says to insert a table with 3 columns and 3 rows. So we're going to go to Insert Table, 3 columns and 3 rows. It says to use the Show Hide button to display the table markers. So on the Home tab, we're going to click on the Show Hide button to show the table markers. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. Alright. To merge the 3, okay, sorry. Step 2, using the mouse, point outside the grid lines and to the left of row 1. So right here. Okay, so it selects the first row. Then it says, click to select the row as shown in Figure 7.8. So I just clicked outside of the row and I selected the entire row. To merge the 3 cells in row 1, we're going to click the Merge Cells in the Merge group on the Table Tools Layout group. So we're going to click on Table Tools Layout, Merge, and then we're going to select Merge Cells. Okay, it makes those 3 individual cells into one large cell. Okay, now it says to split each cell in row 3 into 2 cells, we're going to select row 3. And we're going to click the Split Cells button in the Merge group on the Table Tools Layout tab. The Split Cells dialog box shown in figure 7.9 will appear. We're going to key 2 in the number of columns text box and key 1 in the number of rows text box. It says remove the check mark from the merge cells before split and then click OK. Row 3 should now have 6 cells, which it does. Alright. Then it tells us to key the following data in your table. Your grid should match the grid shown here. Format text in the cells as shown. Alright, so first of all, it shows me that I need to center a line. And I'll probably bold it. And we're going to type elected in all caps. Elected co-captains. Okay, and then right here, I'm going to turn off my caps lock, but I'm going to select the whole row and I'm going to center align it. So it says team red, team white, and team blue. Alright, we're going to select row 3, and I'm also going to center line, but it should not be bolded, and we'll type in Mary, Mark, Jose, Prajakar, Mario, and Lenora. Okay. I'm going to select row 3 again. I just want to make sure that that's bolded because it appears to be bolded in the list there. Okay. So then step 7 says to use AutoFit Contents command to change the column widths. I'm going to select my whole table just to make sure it's selected. And we're going to go to Table Tools Layout tab and choose AutoFit Contents. And then it tells us to center the table horizontally and vertically. So we'll go to, first we'll center it horizontally by clicking the Properties button and choosing Center. Followed by the Layout tab, Page Setup, Layout, and we'll center that as well. Okay, so when we zoom out, okay, our new table should be in the center of the document. It tells us to save this document in our Chapter 7 folder as 56B Table 1. Okay, save, and then it tells us to close the document. Alright, next, oh, whoops, I kind of named that one wrong. We're just going to close out of that one too. It says to open a new blank Word document. So we'll go to Word, blank document. It says open a new blank document and create a table grid with 4 columns and 5 rows. Insert table, 4 columns and 5 rows. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here so I can see it pretty good. And it says use the merge cells and split cells command to make your table grid look like the one shown here. Then key the data in the table as shown. Use center alignment in all cells. Okay, so first I see that the first row says all cells in row 1 were merged into one cell that spans all of the columns. So we're going to go to Table Tools Layout tab. We're going to merge row 1. All right. Then it says that these 4 cells were merged into one cell. So I'm going to highlight these 4 cells right here, and we're going to merge those as well. Then it says the cell above was split into 2 cells. So this cell right here, I'm going to click in this cell, and we're going to click on split cells. Make 2 columns in 1 row. Very good. And then looks like this one is merged. So I selected those 3 and I'm going to merge that. Then it says the cell below was split into 4 cells. So I'm going to split cells and I'm going to make it 4 columns in 1 row. Okay, and it appears that the top 3 were merged. Okay, and then it says that these 2 cells were merged, so I'm going to merge those 2 together, and then I'm going to select the bottom 2 and merge those. Okay, and it tells us that everything needs to be center aligned. So on the Home tab, I'm just going to change it to center alignment. Let's do that again. All right, here, we'll go over here. Table Tools Layout, Center. Okay. So it says all cells in row 1 were merged into one cell that spans all of the columns, period. Okay, then it says, you know what, I'm going to choose Align Top Center. There we go. So I just clicked Align Top Center after I chose all cells. These 4 cells were merged into one cell. Okay, the cell above was split into 2 cells, period. The cell below was split into 4 cells, period. These 2 cells were merged, period. These 2 cells were merged, period. All right. It says to center the page vertically. So we're going to go to the Layout tab, Page Setup, Layout, and we're going to center vertically. Okay, and then it tells us to save the document as 56B, Table 2. Save. All right, Next, it tells us to open up another new blank Word document and create a table grid with 4 columns and 8 rows. So we're going to go to Insert, Table, 4 columns and 8 rows. It says merge and split cells and format cell entries as shown in the following table. Then key the data in the table shown below. Use AutoFit contents to change column widths. Center the table on the page horizontally and center the page vertically. Alright, so you got to turn to page 246 and you're going to look at the picture, and we're going to basically do a little merge and centering here. Alright, so first row, we're going to select it, and it looks like that one is merged. Okay, row 1 looks fine. Let's see, row 2 looks fine. Row 3, it looks like column B is split, as well as column D here in row 4. Split. Okay. Let's see. For column 5, it looks like B and C are merged, and D is split. Okay. Next column right here. Let's see. How we're going to do this one is we're going to highlight these 3 cells right here. We're going to merge them first, and then we're going to click split, and we're going to make it into 2 cells. So I hit merge and then I hit split. Okay, and then it looks like for this one we're going to go ahead and merge this row 7, merge it first, and then we're going to split it into 4 columns. Okay, and then the last one here, it looks like just column B we're going to split. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead here and center this row, and we're going to type this in bold and in all caps. Refresh Mint Stand Staffing. Okay, so Saturday is not, I'm gonna go ahead and select the whole row here because we're gonna bold it. We're gonna type Saturday, hit tab, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. 10 a.m. dot to 11 a dot m dot, and then 11 a dot m dot to 1 p dot m dot. Okay, these 3 cells right here are center aligned, so we're going to center those. Okay, now we're going to make sure bold is off, and we're going to type in the date. September 5, J. Triponi, M. McKeever, and B. Hahn. Okay, so it appears to me that these here are center aligned, so I'll go ahead and center those. Okay, next date. September 12th. D. Ooh, looks like I have made an error here. This one appears like it needs to be split into two. So does this one. Appears that I have maybe an extra row. We'll just keep going here. D. Ford. M. Lou. G. Bauer. A. Car. And V. D. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and select this whole row right here, and I'm going to click delete row because it looks like I have an extra row. If we need to add another one down the road, we can do that. I'm going to change my September spelling there. September 19th. Okay, this appears to be center aligned. C. Rickenbach. D. Mars. Z. Sia. Okay. Both of these appear to be also center aligned, so I'll highlight that and center it. Okay, September 26th, my birthday. Center line. A. Koplovich. Okay, this one appears to be center aligned as well. B. Gordon. Okay. October 1. Okay, and then the rest of this appears to all be centered too, so I'm going to go ahead and center align that. Now, S. Creeley. D. Sanchez. M. Nash. R. Jansen. October 8. Let's go back there. Chi. A. Jaso. R. Dolphy. A. Burger. I am going to stop automatically creating numbered list. Same here. I am going to make sure that's centered though. There we go. Alright. I'd say it looks pretty good. Back to the directions though. It tells us to use AutoFit Contents. So we're going to go to Page Layout tab, AutoFit Contents. And then it tells us to center the page horizontally. So we'll click Table Properties and then click Center. Followed by centering it vertically. So Page Setup Launcher in the Layout tab. Choose Layout tab. And we'll vertical alignment, change it to center. Okay. Zoom out, make sure you know everything's looking good. I'd say it does look good. Alright. And then we're going to save it as 56B. Table 3. Save. Okay. Next, we're going to be adding and deleting. I guess we can close out of this. Close out of this one as well. We're going to be adding and deleting rows and columns. So it says that you can add and delete rows and columns to change your table grid. Rows can be added above or below the table in which you have placed the insertion point in the table. Columns can be added to the left or the right of the column in which you have placed the insertion point. So it tells us next to open DF56C table. Let's go to our Keyboarding 8 folder, Data Files, 56C, Table 1. Alright, step 2 tells us to select row 2. I'm going to zoom in here. So here's row 1, row 2 is right here. Select row 2 and delete it by following the path to the left. Okay, so we have to go to Table Tools Layout tab. And in the Rows and Columns group, we're going to click the Delete drop-down arrow. And we're going to click Delete Row. Okay. To add a row below the last row, we're going to click in the last cell or in the last row, and we're going to tap the Tab key to add a new row to the bottom of the table. It tells us to key the following information: 2010, tab, Spain, tab, Brazil. To add a column between the first and the second columns, we're going to click in column 1 and then follow the path at the left to the insert options. So on Table Tools Layout tab, we are going to go to the Rows and Columns group and we're going to choose Insert Right. And then it tells us to key the following information in the new column. So it should say Site. I'm going to use my down arrow to go to the next row. Mexico, Italy, United States, France, Japan, South Korea, Germany, and South Africa. To delete the last column, we're going to click in the last column right here, and we're going to select Delete Columns from the Delete drop-down list. Then it tells us to save the document. So in our Chapter 7 folder, we're going to save it as 56C Table 1. We're going to save. And then it tells us to close it. Okay. So on page 247, next we're going to open up DF56C table out of your data files. Table 2. Alright, and it tells us to insert a new column between birth date and email address. So I'm going to click in the birth date column on Table Tools Layout tab and going to click Insert to the right. And then it tells us to key the following data. So I'm going to type phone number, and then we'll type each phone number. So 614-555-0133. Using my down arrow. 0179 641 555 0144 614 555 0156 614 555 0172 614 555 0141. And then I accidentally forgot the 0184. If you miss one, go ahead and just put it at the end. Okay. Then it tells us to delete the email address column. So I'm going to select the whole column and I'm going to choose delete columns. Then it tells us to delete row 10, which is the Yarborough Pam row, and row 4. So I'm going to hold down my control key and I'm going to select this one right here. Okay. And then I'm going, well, I guess I have to do it one at a time. Okay, so let's do one at a time. Delete row and delete row. Okay. Add a row after row 2. So we're going to insert a row below, and I'm going to type in the following data. Okay. And then add a row after row 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which would be this one. Insert row below. And we're going to key the following new data. Alright, so step 5 on page 247 says to add a row at the top of the table. So we're going to insert row above, and then we're going to merge the cells. And we'll type tree in all caps. Treesdale roster for soccer tournament. Okay, then it tells us to center center the page vertically, so we'll go to Table Tools Layout, Page Setup, and we'll go to Layout, Center Align. And then it tells us to save our document as 56C Table 2. So File, Save As, we'll go to our Lessons Chapter 7 folder, 56C Table 2. Alright, so you guys are going to do 56D on your own. We're going to add a column to the right. You're going to be modifying the table, and then you're going to be adding it into a letter. So page 247 and 248, you guys are working on your own. Good luck.